Alright everybody, well if this is recording correctly, welcome to Robin 76. Fallout in the Hood. I don't know, some dumb shit. Anyways, we're gonna go on a crime spree. And here's our first victim. That's right everybody, you heard correctly. We are going on a crime spree. So basically this is a new way of playing the game I just got into, and I mean, for lack of a better term, it's cops and robbers. It's Robin Hood. It's pretty fun. So basically, the concept is that you're not a raider. So we're not running around with the maximum loadout. In fact, I like to play it with an archer build. Now, archers slap. If you build your archer right, you can definitely slap, but you're definitely a glass cannon, so you gotta be quick. The other thing is, we're not robbing from lower level players often. It kind of depends. Accidents happen. We're not out here being the hero, that's for sure. But for the most part, if you come across a low-level player, that's a great opportunity to drop all the stuff you stole, help somebody out, and split. So, anyways, this is kind of like a new PvP. It's a little bit easier to initiate. Some people will actually do another PvP round with you, which is nice, because then you get to have an actual legit round of PvP, which if you're a bow build, it's kind of hard to get the jump on your victims of your crime spree, and we'll get into that later. Anyways, the thing that I've really noticed is a lot of people aren't getting too mad about it. I mean, you don't want to harass somebody too much, and if I find myself going back to other camps a second or third time, I only hit one thing after the main lick. And a lot of players will actually hang around my drop and wait for me to come back to pick up all my stuff. So I'm pretty sure some people are having fun out there. Okay, so let's go over some of the basics, right? So the first things first, if you haven't already noticed by watching the screen, in order to get a wanted level, you have to pick the lock at somebody's camp and take all the items in it. I mean, you don't have to take all the items. You can leave their stuff and just pick their locks. But where would be the fun in that, right? So anyways, once you've got a wanted level, all other player characters and their camps become invisible to you on the map. So you can no longer see anybody, and they all know exactly where you're at. So you've probably seen this before when somebody else is wanted and you're not. You bring up the map and there's a little rectangular tag that says wanted and it has a caps, or maybe it's just the cap symbol and the value that they're wanted for. It's a pretty simple system there, and it gets a little bit more complicated from there. So I think the original intent behind the stealing stuff from players' camps was to initiate full-on PvP, but unfortunately it's really easy to grief people that way, and so I'm pretty sure they disabled that. So what happens is once you become wanted, you become hostile to every other character, and all the player characters are now engaged in PvP combat with you. So that means they can damage you, but you cannot damage them until they hit you first. So with high level characters, this makes it a bit of a challenge, but we like challenges, so this isn't exactly a bad thing. Now, we've gone over what happens once you become wanted and how the combat initiates. So the other thing to know is that whenever you do pick these locks in people's camps, they get a notification in the top corner of their screen that tells them what player has picked their lock. And a lot of other people may get a notification that says this player has now become wanted. I don't know about that. I haven't ever seen that myself. Now, getting into where we go from here. In order to be most effective at this, you want to have some kind of chameleon or stealth armor. I was running a lot of Chinese stealth armor just because you can stay invisible the whole time and it's pretty cheap. But you know, you can spam stealth boys, you can put on a chameleon legendary armor, anything that can give you that invisible whenever you crouch, or you know, with the stealth boy just invisible all the time. The reason why is because whenever you're in stealth, people can't lock on to you. So even in this situation right here, he's not able to VATS me, or she, I'm not sure who that is, and I got stuck on a rock. But they're not able to VATS me, right? So that means that I have a better chance of getting away. They have to actually aim their guns, which is part of how you're going to avoid a lot of the high level players. So I like to give a thumbs up after I've been hunted down, you know, just to show people that I'm not out here being a jerk, I'm just playing around. And, you know, I don't think these people engaged. I was headed for that base next when they got me, and unfortunately they got me before I could get out of line of sight, which is how I learned to adjust my play style with the cops and robbers game. So the next thing to remember is that cops and robbers is gonna be a big stealth game when you're the robber. And to demonstrate that, I'm gonna go over to another playthrough I did, and I had a lot of fun with this person. I think they had a lot of fun too. They definitely seemed like they did. We had a nice little PvP round after that. So let me just go ahead and bring that up. Now let's get into some of the more in-depth tips and mechanics to this playstyle. So basically what you want to do here, and you're seeing me do this on the screen now, you're going to go ahead and you're going to inspect the map. You're going to find out where all the camps are. Go ahead and zoom out, get as many as you can on one screen as possible. Go ahead and take a picture of that with your phone or screenshot it on your computer, because you're not going to get to see those once you hit your first lick. Now, this is very important, but you can fast travel while you're wanted. Just don't think you can stand out in the open and do it. That's not going to happen. You're definitely going to get blasted. Alright, so now you'll see us, we're about to spawn in here, and it usually takes a moment for camps to load on PlayStation 4. I don't know if PlayStation 5 is better. You guys on the other consoles and PC, you may have better luck than me. But take advantage of this opportunity to kind of case out the joint, because you'll see where they got a few things hidden too, and that can really help you find some of the extractors and stuff people like to clip in through their foundations. Now, real quick, I run into NPC allies all the time, and they spook the hell out of me, but they're not really a problem as long as the player isn't pursuing you, because then they'll give you away. Now, it's important to also check out a person's base, because you can get to know what kind of player they are. This guy clearly does a lot of collecting. He really takes a lot of pride in this camp he's built, and it's a nice camp too. I mean, kudos. He's got something going on here he hasn't finished yet, but ultimately the place looks nice. I really like it. And then this guy came running up. So we go and we hide. Now this is important. Taking all the freebies and trying to stay out of the line of sight. Now I knew he went into the market, so I ran over here real quick, not worried about him hearing me, because he's got the market noise going on and everything. And we just kind of hope to God he's still in the market. We're invisible, so he's not really going to notice us even when he gets out. You know, he's just going to take off. And so we hang out. And boom, there's our first target, weenie wagon. So we're going to go ahead and pick this weenie wagon. And by the way, this is a pretty gutsy move because I'm wanted as soon as this happens. And that means that the guy nearby is going to know about it too. So I really should have split here. But then I saw the mineral extractor and I was like, well, sneaky, sneaky. And then I broke my lockpick. That actually sucked. I remember that because I had to go to White Springs to buy more. And if you go to White Springs while you're wanted, they can still pursue you. And sometimes the White Springs assaultrons and stuff will attack you. I don't know if they're related. It may have just been a weird coincidence. So anyways, here I am. I go ahead and retreat from the area. You can't stay too long because bam, they're coming. Somebody's coming to figure out what you took. Some people don't want you taking their stuff. So now I'm hiding in the bushes. These people cannot see me, and this is like main tip number 2. This is one of your main mechanics you're going to use. Bushes are your best friend. The thicker the brush, the better, because you can move around without being detected. And that comes into play a lot whenever you're using the stealth, because you glimmer whenever you're in light and stuff. So players can somewhat notice you, plus your footsteps leave dust clouds. So you can be tracked. Also, you want to avoid water because you leave splashes and ripples and everything. And if you go too deep, you'll leave stealth. And yeah, so anyways, you're easy to track and then you can be vaxxed. Now, I went ahead and dipped, knowing that this guy was looking for me, though. As soon as I got out of there, bush time. And you'll see why right here in a minute. I remember I was trying to zoom out on my character because I forgot what the third person zoom out buttons were. Damn you, UI changes. And boom. He's on me like white on rice. And this is where it gets a little fun. So I like to taunt players at this point, although I have a low wanted level. So really I should have gone for a higher score because that's the end game. See how wanted you can get before you get killed. And then, as you can see here, I'm just kind of playing hide-and-go-seek with him. Now, if you're wondering why he doesn't just leave and check somewhere else, it's because every time he goes to the map, I'm still right there on him. So, he knows I'm nearby. And let's say he was in stealth or something, and he wasn't running around in a suit of power armor, I would know he's nearby because of that caution symbol at the top. Once a player gets in range of you while you're wanted, your hidden marker switches to caution. This is how the wanted player is going to know when other players are nearby. Now, maybe that's an enemy, maybe it's not. You're going to want to use VATS to figure that out. Now, as you see, here's where I'm going to begin taunting him. And I knock him with an arrow. You see it says attacking, but he never lost any health. And that's important. So I'm challenging him to PvP while in PvP, but a different kind of PvP. It's not very good. I wish Bethesda would come around and clean some of this up. But it'd be cool to see my wanted caps shoot up to 60 because I shot him with the arrow, and then we could initiate PvP. But it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So you're gonna see here I'm gonna run around a lot, and basically I'm gonna shoot him again here in a little bit, and nothing's gonna happen. And this is gonna go all the way over to the fish camp, where eventually he does kill me. And you'll see at the fish camp where I use the bushes to my advantage, but the player uses fire marking weapons to their advantage. So you're going to have to come up with counters to that. You're going to have a PvP build that's also stealth and silenced. So it adds a new level of creativity to the PvP, as well as a new play style, a new game mode basically to Fallout 76. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. Now, the other thing I'd recommend a lot of people do is get a group together. Be Robin Hood and the Merrymen, like just go around, have some people who aren't wanted who can be your spotters and everything. As long as they're not engaging in the PvP, I wouldn't consider that cheating personally. So, my recommendation is go out there, have some fun, get some people together, start a little brigade of thieves, and steal from the rich and sell to the poor. I mean, that seems to be the Fallout way, if you ask me. And also, there are some glitches that you will eventually run into while doing this, and we'll go over that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and let this fast forward and play out so that you guys can see the interaction we had here, and then I'll go ahead and end this video on the PvP between me and this same player, because they were actually really excited for the first run. I may have got on their nerves later because I hit them again, but hey, it's part of the game. So one last thing I wanted to talk about are some of the issues surrounding the PvP, and basically some things that I think could improve the PvP significantly. Now, for starters, whenever you steal from another player, your mic gets muted. And unfortunately, I don't know if this is just my mic or if this is the game in general, but after I was killed and my wanted level was removed, it seemed like I was still having issues communicating with players with the mic. So if anybody can test that out, let me know. Maybe this is just something I've got going on. The other thing is, it would be nice to be able to seek revenge from being wanted. Although, I could see how you could just continuously seek revenge on somebody. So, maybe there's a balance that Bethesda can add to that somewhere if they wanted to. Hopefully they see this video. Let's see. The other thing is, like I was saying earlier, like once you steal from a player and they become a victim, they're able to attack you, and so are all other players. But I think you should also be able to rack up your bounty based on how many players you initiate PvP with while wanted. So let's say I hit this guy, now another 50 caps is added, because not only did I try to rob him, but I also tried to attack him and keep him from pursuing me. And then, you could rack up a whole lot of points, especially if you're a pretty stocky player and are able to do the PvP. I'm not that good at it right now, but I'm trying to make a stealth archer PvP build, so we'll see where that goes. Also, water doesn't extinguish fire. That's bullshit. The other thing is, it would be nice if, let's say, there was a leaderboard so that players who collect bounties and players who rob other player characters can both keep track on who's gotten the highest bounty and who's collected the most caps through bounty hunting. I think that would be a pretty cool feature to have, and I think that would definitely increase the player engagement with other players, especially in a game like Fallout, where most people coming to this game, they're coming from single player experiences of adventuring and very long stories. They're not usually the engaging type, so this gives them something to do. It creates a more immersive world where you're gonna have raiders who aren't just NPCs that don't know how to shoot a gun. And oh yeah, one last tip: throw Molotovs. But anyways, yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Anybody who stayed to the end, I really appreciate it. And let me know in the comments what you guys thought. Maybe if you guys want to play, you can send me a message. I'll send you my PlayStation Network. Maybe we can get together and run a troop of crooks and thieves. And anyways, so let's come up with a name for this game mode too, because Cops and Robbers is pretty old. Maybe Crooks and Castles, but I don't know. I'll lean on the rest of the community to help me decide a name for this kind of play mode. And with that, you guys have a great evening, afternoon, or morning, whatever it is, whoever decided to watch this at whatever time. Y'all take it easy and stay frosty.